Hey, this is Terry down here in St. Augustine, Florida. Got some friends who called in, had questions on contracts. Thought it might be a good topic to chat with you all about. So if you want to talk a little bit about contracts and avoiding controversy, come on back after the break. Hey, this is Terry again. Yeah, recently I've had some friends that have called me about problems they're having with contracts, and I just thought maybe we'd take a second to talk a little bit about it, maybe help prevent you from having problems like that going forward as well. The first one was it was the classic double closing. Everybody was relying on things to happen. And on top of all that, the agent had agreed to a pre-occupancy in one house and a post-occupancy in the other. So it kind of got sideways on them. And the sellers of the house that his buyers were moving into decided they didn't want to move out for another couple of weeks. And the way he had written the contract, it was too vague for him to enforce, to evict or anything. So I always advise against avoiding the pre-occupancy, post-occupancy agreements if you can. I understand in this market sometimes we have to do it, but my advice is stay away from them, because typically there's an issue with some sort of issue comes up during the process. The other, the most recent one I got over the weekend, Saturday night, 9 o'clock, get a call from an agent. She is being told by the seller of the house that her buyer's getting that they're going to bump her out and they're going to keep her earnest money. So I sat down and went through the contract with her, and I showed her that in fact she was okay. The terms of the contract protected her, and we worked out, I made a recommendation on how to proceed, and she did, and it worked out okay. That deal's still going to go to close. And what we did on that one, just before closing date, the lender came back, the classic, we're not ready to close, so we need to extend. When she went in for the extension request is when the seller was saying, hey, we got backup offers, we're not going to wait around on you, we'll bump you out, we'll keep your earnest money, and just put it back on the market. So, but I showed her that her financing contingency was still in place. So that next Monday, she sent 2 documents over to the other agent. One was to extend the closing date and the financing contingency until the lender could get everything straightened out. And the second document she sent was a cancellation agreement. And I like to do that when I'm in a situation where I think that it becomes kind of an adversarial relationship between me and the other agent. I just put it out there, and I explained to the buyer first, obviously, but I put it out there, either sign one or the other. I don't, at this point I don't care. But I'm not going to let my buyer lose their escrow because of what you perceive to be a technicality. So anyway, they sent both over. The agent made sure that the other agent understood that they did want to stay in the game. They intended to close on the property, but if the seller wasn't in agreement to it, they wanted, they had already produced a document that said they wanted to cancel and move on. That seller signed the extension, and they are rolling on toward closing this week. So that was kind of cool. But the big thing I run into is the lack of understanding of the contracts we're using. We use them over and over again, and sometimes we get into a discussion with another agent and they go, oh yeah, there won't be any problem with that, we're cool. But then when you get to the closing and something goes wrong, it's like, I don't, show me in writing where we've agreed to anything like that. So I strongly encourage that you put everything that you do in writing. If you agree that you have more time to close, that they're not going to worry about it, get it in writing. It's the only way that you can enforce it if something goes wrong later on. So study your contract, don't be vague on it, don't let conversations with other agents cause you to not put something in writing. You know what I mean? Oh, it's a good friend and never have a problem. But you got to remember that other agent's representing somebody else, and they are responsible for protecting that individual. So it may come down to, you may say your friendship will pull you through, but it won't. So put it in writing, get everybody to sign off on it. If they won't sign off, that's a warning that there may be problems coming forward, so I would go ahead and try to move on for that contract if they won't put everything in writing. The other thing is your broker. I mean, you need to reach out to your broker if there's any kind of questions on this kind of stuff, and ask them how you should go forward. A lot of times, I've owned a couple brokerages. I owned a Century 21 franchise in the past. A lot of times agents would have problems that I'd get on the phone and call the other broker, and they go, no problem, we'll take care of it, and it's fixed. So, rely on your broker to have your back in these situations. If you feel like the broker's not representing you the best, or not responsive. In the state of Florida, we have a legal hotline for realtors provided through the Florida Association of Realtors. The phone number is in the, you can go to the Florida Association of Realtors website and look up legal hotline. And there are real estate attorneys on call to answer our questions about contracts. Now, this is not a representation kind of counseling call, but they can tell you that paragraph means this. This statement means that. Or like in the case of the one where the information was too vague, if he had called the hotline would have said, yeah, you don't have any teeth in there to back it up. That's too vague. So if you don't have someone that your go-to guy, someone that you can reach out to and get good answers and guidance on in the state of Florida, remember there's a Florida legal hotline available to all of us. It's free. All you have to have is your license number when you call in. They're pretty responsive, and I've always gotten great information from them. People around the country, I'm sure that most associations have the same thing available. So I would try to track that down, put that in my, put it as a speed dial in my phone, so that if there's something comes up, I can call and ask the question. So I guess the big takeaways are study your contracts. Even if you've been doing this for a long time, you know them, like the back of your hand. Sit down and read through them again, because it even happens to me. I'll sit and read through it again. I'll go like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that now. So, just refresh your memory on everything that's in your contract. Anything that's vague or you're not real sure about, go ahead and get it resolved. Learn, study and find out what that paragraph means and how you can use it in your negotiations. And the other thing is rely heavily on your broker and the legal advice that's available to us through our associations. If you do that, probably will avoid a lot of conflict, a lot of deals going sideways at the last minute. A lot of times we can step in and fix them, but sometimes it comes down to sign this document or this one. It's your option. We're either in or out of contract. So study your documents. Get some go-to people on your phone that you can speed dial and ask for help if it comes up. The broker's the best way to go with that, I think. But also then know that you have backup out there as well. So hopefully this helps you, just let you refocus and understand that you need to get everything in writing. This is real estate. If it's not in writing, it ain't happening. So get it all in writing, study your stuff, get your list of people to go to, and it'll avoid a lot of conflict going forward. Hope this helps. Hope you guys have a great rest of this year. Everybody knocks it out of the park, and just have a good day. All right, bye now.